So how long have you actually been farming in the Byron Shire for?
7 years now.
So can you explain to me what organic farming is?
Organic farming's many things. I don't know how long we've got, but I could try and give you a reasonably brief explanation.
Maybe just tell me what the ideal form of organic farming is as far as you're concerned.
Yeah, I mean, I think organic farming's, it's, in my opinion, it's farming to a certified organic standard. There is a set of standards for farming in Australia as there is in Europe and the States and many other countries. So I guess first and foremost it's making sure that we're complying with that set of organic standards. And I think that's really important because there is a huge list of things which are prohibited for use in organic farming. So organic farming is really about building the soil and having a healthy soil, and from that healthy plants. And a lot of modern day kind of inputs into non-organic farming systems don't benefit the soil. They kind of break down the microbes in the soil and cause lots of kind of long-term problems to the soil, of which there isn't much on the planet anyway. If you spread it all out around the world, there's only about an inch of topsoil to go around everywhere. So yeah, for me it's really important that we farm to that set of organic standards, because they've been designed in such a way that we're regenerating the land instead of depleting the land. So that's probably, I suppose from a elementary point of view, the fundamentals of organic farming. But I think it's also a lot more than that nowadays. People are starting to, I think, join up the dots that are associated with poor health, climate change, heavy intensive use of fossil fuels through use in farming and transportation. So I mean, agriculture on a global level is accountable for about 30 to 40% of greenhouse gas emissions, just by the intensity of the way things are done. Artificial fertilizer energy costs are extremely high because of the fossil fuels which go into that production process. So it's been shown that organic farming reduces that emission amount to the atmosphere, if you like, by at least half. Obviously we're in kind of modern day farming and we're not using horse and carts anymore to drag ploughs and things, so we do still use tractors in organic farming, which obviously use diesel and fossil fuels. So of course organic farming is still using some energy inputs into producing the food we're growing, but largely it's also sequestering a lot of the carbon emissions that go into the atmosphere are storing back in the soil. By the way we manage our soil, we're building up organic matter which helps store carbon in the soil. So we're kind of, I like to think, heading to a stage where organic farming is becoming either carbon neutral or carbon positive, which has to be a good thing for the environment that we all share and all live in. And yeah, I mean, increasingly, since the 60s, I suppose, since chemical farming was born after the Second World War, there's been many kind of documented health problems arising in societies all over the world, and they're just escalating more and more. And I don't think it's rocket science to kind of point that back to food and the way food is grown and processed and ends up on people's dinner plates, or worse still, in their microwaves. So yeah, really I think it's just about also joining up the dots of good health, reduced emissions which kind of have detrimental effects on the climate, actually all linked back to food production. So really the model of community supported agriculture, or kind of local, small to medium size scale organic farming, actually reduces a lot of health problems in society. It reduces a lot of food distribution problems which burn energy, and just by the nature of the inputs that we use, which are kind of natural inputs, we're also reducing the amount of emissions that go into the atmosphere.
So almost like creating a more localized economy?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the organic industry has grown. I mean, I suppose 20 years ago when I started in the organic industry, it wasn't called an organic industry, it was called an organic movement. So that's okay. I mean, industry I don't think does really justify what organic is. But of course, like with any market opportunity, a few of the more corporate businesses in the world have come on board, and they want to have a share of the organic market as well. So there's kind of small scale local organic farming, which is what we're doing here. And then there's the bigger kind of export organic farming markets. For example, a lot of organic beef from Australia will go to Asia. And I think that's something which the organic industry or movement, if you like, needs to consider over the next decade. In that, do we really need to be doing that? And should we maybe be educating more countries that we are exporting to set up their own organic farms and teach them how to do it, so we're not kind of just flying stuff all over the world?